Thank you, everybody, for joining us this morning. For those who haven't met me before, my name is Ian. I'm a business relationship manager in INP, and we're here this morning to talk the new INP Customer Service Center. This is going to be the platform through which you enter tickets and request services from INP starting in 2022. We've been running on an old system for over a decade now, as I'm sure you're well aware of. And we're really excited to have a more modern tool to help better serve our city stakeholders here. We're not quite ready to roll this out yet. I think we're still looking at the beginning or middle of March. But we're going to be taking the next couple months to finish our testing, work on rolling out some training. And once we kind of put the finishing touches on the system and the processes around it, it's going to make life a lot easier for everybody involved here. I'm going to toss it over to Zoe Burns here in a second. She's going to give us a first look at what the customer portal looks like. Everybody in the city is going to be pretty familiar with this page in the coming months. We're going to post the link to this site in the chat and make sure that everybody has it after the meeting. And this session is being recorded just for folks who either want to go back and take another look or pass it on to colleagues who weren't able to join us in person this morning. So we're going to look at how to submit a ticket, how to manage open items, and then we're going to step through the INP service catalog. So, Zoe, thank you for stepping us through that.
Yeah, no problem.
If anybody has any questions, feel free to jump in at any time, or you can save it until the end.
So, Alexis, if you want to go to the next slide and can kick us off. So the new Service Center portal, what does this mean? So for you guys as a customer, it means that you'll have a new way to request help. You'll no longer be able to create a ticket through email. You'll be able to do it through two ways, either calling in the service desk like you normally would, or going through the portal and creating a ticket. You can still email and back and forth communication once you get assigned a technician, but for the initial ticket creation, you'll have to make it through the portal. And the reason we're doing this is to streamline the service. Right now, everything kind of goes into the same email bucket, but doing it through the portal and actually picking your service request is going to directly streamline it to the correct team and the correct person, and will hopefully slow down and make the ticketing process easier and quicker for you guys. That also means you'll have a single point of contact throughout the life of your request. You'll no longer have to communicate with different technicians and kind of have to give the same story and the same problem over and over again. Doing this way and through the portal, you'll be able to have it go to the correct team and the correct person the first time and have a single point of communication. We also are going to improve view into all the services INP has to offer. So there'll be a service catalog, which I will show off later in this presentation. And so you'll have a clear understanding of what INP does and does not offer for you guys. And for us in the INP department, what it means for us is we're replacing a 10-plus-year-old system, as Ian mentioned in the beginning. So for us, it's going to be a huge help. It's going to help us streamline services and make it easier to complete your guys' tickets in a reasonable time frame. And we'll also have requests based on service offerings, and that will be, again, the service catalog, which I will show off now. So Alexis, if you want to go to the next screen, this is the link to our Customer Service Center portal. I think Ian said he was going to put it in the chat so you guys could take a look. If you have dual monitors, you can certainly open this up and follow along with me. But if not, you guys can just look at my screen. Hopefully you'll learn a little bit about it. So with that, I'm going to share my screen and give you guys a first look at what the service portal will look like. All right, hopefully you guys can see my screen now. So when you first click the link, this is what you should see, a little welcome to your self-service portal. And then when you log in, it should automatically log you in through your email. So you don't need to remember a different username or password. And when you first look on the screen, you'll see that there is a couple things up top, which we'll go through. And then there's this announcements at the top. So this would be for anywhere for us to put some announcements that's happening in IMP or things that would affect other departments. You can also search for knowledge-based articles. So if you didn't want to create a ticket, you just wanted to know, maybe you forgot how to do something simple that you think you can handle on your own, but you don't really remember the steps to do it. If you just search your problem here and you go on, you can see if there's already an article that can help you. If you scroll down a little bit, you'll see that there is 10 of the top issues, and we just put those right on the home screen. That way, if you have an email issue or a printer issue, you can just click it right from there and you don't have to go into the service catalog. We designed these top 10 with knowing what the top issues are and looking at the tickets that are submitted. So these are subject to change, but for now, these are the top 10 issues that people are requesting. Further down, you'll see the button for the service catalog if your issue is not one of the 10 top most requested. If you scroll down a little bit further, you'll see that there's a couple more categories. There's major instances. So if there was something that was down a system or something like that, you would see it right here. Any notifications, so system backups, things like that. And these both update in real time. I think it updates every 30 seconds or so. So you'll see the most up-to-date information right here. And then, of course, how to contact the service desk, the numbers here along with the hours. And you can see that there's also the same buttons that are at the top are also at the bottom. So with that, let me dive a little bit into our service catalog. Catalog either from the top or from that button there. You'll see a list of a couple of our major categories. And this is everything that IMP offers. And you can find anything you want here. If you go and you click, let's say, communication services, you can see that there's 3-in-1 trainings and things like that. If you go to, if you go to web services, you can see that there's subcategories in here and so on. If you don't know what category that your request would be in, we do have a smart search up here. A printer issue, if you type in printer, you can see that a couple of things pop up immediately. The overlining category of printers and then the 3 sub catalog items below that. So that's really helpful, so you don't have to spend your time actually going through and searching. So let's actually go through and make a ticket. So let's say we want let's do an email issue. We're having an email issue. So when you click on that, you'll see that this screen pops up and this is your form to create the ticket. There's an option here. You can submit it on behalf of another user. So let's say you're a liaison or maybe your person sitting next to you can't reach their computer. You can submit on behalf of another user. And here, if you just click that, you would type in that person and it is a smart search again. So if you type in, let's say I want to do Dana, you can see if you click that, it comes up here. And when you click it, it automatically fills in with his information. So you don't need to know even their email or anything like that. As long as you have their name, it will smart search and fill everything else in. And then from there, you can decide if you just want the communication to go to the customer, which would be Dana, or you, the requester, or both. But for this, let's say that this is for me, this is not for someone else. So it's just going to have you describe the issue you're having. And then there's some additional questions down here. Is this preventing you from doing your work? Yes or no. And is this affecting multiple users? Yes or no. Once you fill out the form, you're just going to hit submit. And then it's going to give you an ID number and show you that your request has been added. Now, if you want to track your ticket, it's a little bit easier than before. If you're on the same page and you go to My Items, and then open service requests or open incidences. So service request would be for something like you need a computer or something like that. And instance would be if something is not working. So we said our email is not working. That's a problem. So that's where you would find that. And you can see it says new and I submitted it. And then as you can see, a really great thing about this system and this new platform is you can see the estimate response time and what stage it is. So you can see now I just put it in, so it's in the new and there's not a technician assigned. And if there, you can also add additional notes by contacting it saying, I need help. And that also would get added to your ticket. You can add a comment and other things like that. And that's a really great way because before people really couldn't see that level of where their ticket was. You're assuming it's getting worked on, but you weren't really sure where it was in the process. And now it's very upfront, very clear to the customer where your ticket is at. So we go back to my items, I'll pick another one. And this is all beta and in testing, so things are subject to change a little bit. But let me pick one that maybe is a little bit older and see. So for this one, you can see a difference is like this one's in progress and just different things like that. You can also see top issues. If you had a device assigned to you, that would be there. Also on the My Items page is the announcements again. And then your recently closed request would be here. And just to go back to the knowledge articles from the front, you can either get it from the front homepage or you can click from up here. And in here, you can either search for knowledge articles, like I was saying, or there is some that will be populated right here for the most used. So some, for example, is highlighting the text on a page. You could click that and it will give you step-by-step instructions on how to do something instead of creating a ticket, and it just is a little bit more streamlined for you if it's a simpler request. Are there any questions?
Yes, I have a quick question. If you're having computer problems, you can still call the 2900 number, correct?
Yeah. So the 2900 number is not going away. If anything, it's going to get a little bit more efficient. I know right now people, you might wait on hold for a while. People aren't really happy with the response rate from the calling, but with this new system, the phones are also going to become more efficient and people will not be waiting on hold as long as they have been. So every, I think it's 30 seconds or so, it will give an option to leave a voicemail or create a ticket through the phone, and it will automatically create a ticket within our system for someone to do that. So hopefully that'll be a little bit easier for people as well.
And this is Dolly. I think it says this in the that lower box, but you need to use all 12 numbers. Or all 10 numbers, sorry. Not good math. All 10 numbers of the phone number to call the service desk because of how we've changed it to be responsive. It needs the full 412-255-2900.
Yeah, that's correct. Thanks, Dolly. So it doesn't matter if you're in the building or not, you'll still have to type in 412-255-2900. Are there any other questions or other things you want me to dive a little bit further into?
I have a question. So DPW, and this may be a separate discussion, but DPW has been working with IMP for the past couple of years for office moves. We have traditionally done that through email. Is that option in the service catalog or labeled as something else, or is that going to be run separately from this process?
So Dana, our service desk manager, is not on the call right now, so I'm not sure how he'll want to handle that, but that's definitely something we can put in our questions and follow up with you afterwards.
Okay. That works. Thank you.
questions. Anything else? So just to kind of summarize and everything, everything that I've gone over so far, you will not be able to create a ticket through this email like you're doing right now. Instead, you'll have to do it through the service catalog. Once you put a request in through the service catalog and you have a technician, you'll still have the option to email back and forth with that technician and it'll get added to the ticket just as it is now. The only reason why we're getting rid of the email to ticket option is because this is going to streamline them and get your request to the correct person and the correct team instead of just going into one bucket. And you also have the option to communicate with your technician also through the portal. If you just click on one here, you can add a comment and you can see the back and forth communication. I think this ticket might be unassigned, so that might be why, but yeah. And so if there's any other questions or anything else you guys would like to see, I can happily go through it. If not, we can have a shorter session and you guys will get the recording for this and the frequently asked questions and answers as well.
Again, this is
Thanks,
Dolly. I'll just pop in and say, if you haven't tried the link to bring this up on your computer during the session, please try it. And if you can't bring the service portal up on your computer, please let us know.
We're going to be in touch over the next couple of months with more of these interactive sessions, along with videos, written training materials. So keep an eye out for that. This is by no means going to be the only interaction that we have before this system starts running. So if you guys think of any other questions, I think that we had an email address in the PowerPoint. It was customer learning at pittsburghpa.gov. We'll drop that in the chat as well. So if there are no more questions, I think we're good to conclude. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Hope you
everyone.
have a nice Friday.
Thank you.